The other month I was on the internet looking around and I stumbled upon, I can't remember whether it was Gear News or Synthtopia, but there was a mention at the end of April about this thing. This is the Eternal Engine EMI Apparatus. And yeah, these things aren't for show, it's actually a duophonic valve synthesizer. All of the signal path is valve. It's got 2 Thyratron VCOs and the rest of the information on the actual functioning of it is over on their website. You should go and check it out. So the second I saw it on Gear News, I was like, oh, yeah. And yeah, without really thinking, I kind of fired over an email to the makers of this to kind of see if they had any available at the minute, and I ended up buying one of the prototypes off them. And about 5 or 6 weeks later, it's turned up. I must add, this is a beast from the East. Yes, it is from Russia, and there are Russian valves, and it is pretty damn awesome. This is so much a prototype that apparently the back of it is from a Russian cupboard. It's got 2 oscillators, you can use them in unison, or like I say, you've got this poly switch, so you can actually make it a duophonic synthesizer. I bought this because I thought it would be quite an interesting thing to include in the interactive part of the Museum of Everything Else, which is very much a work in progress, which is the next goal on my Patreon, which yeah, I'm slowly getting closer to it after a couple of years. And yeah, I need to start figuring out how to open such a thing. But anyway, enough about that, let's go and get this plugged in. So I guess the first thing that we need to do is turn it up and let it warm up. Apparently it only takes about a minute to warm up, so we'll turn it on and I'll play some keyboard through it and you'll hear it kind of warming up. You can see the action LED, that is the LED to show it's getting MIDI signal. Oh, is it coming? So right now you're listening to the first valve oscillator that is on square. Ooh, what about oscillator 2, square? Ooh, how about sawtooth? Ooh. Mix them together. There's a D tune. Got some portamento. It's actually a switched knob, so you can change it to only be portamento when it's on held notes. And this is the Vactrol controlled valve filter. Ooh. You can turn up the emphasis. It's got a pretty damn warm sound, but then it goes into this, the Asymmetrical valve Overdrive. You can really amplify the nuances of the valve's characteristics in the filter and the oscillator. So it's got this really funky sample and hold bit. So if you pull this switch out, it actually syncs the LFO up to the MIDI clock switch. So now you can control the noise LFO via the clock. So if you listen, it's going to sync up to the kick drum. But when you flick this, it actually becomes duophonic. That means that you can play it like this. The two notes when they're on poly mode kind of interact with each other, so you get like different sort of dissonance depending on like which notes you're playing. So that is the Eternal Engine Apparatus, and all in all it's a pretty damn nice sounding synth. It's got a really nice and tuneful saturation to it, and I'm pretty chuffed to have it. Whew. The valves do get pretty damn hot, so I'm going to build a cage over them to stop people like burning their fingers. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a really nice monophonic or duophonic synthesizer with some warm valvey oaky overtones. Yummy. And obviously what I was playing was down to, yeah, my kind of tastes of sound and stuff. But Eternal Engine have other videos up of the apparatus up on their YouTube, so go and check those out if you want to hear more of a kind of palette of what it sounds like. I've put up a stem sample pack on my Patreon of the performance of this. And yeah, the Patreon thing is actually slowly sort of coming to funding a museum. So yeah, if you want to play on this, come to the museum at some point. Anyway, that's enough from me. Go and check out the links in the description for more information on this synthesizer. Also, one more thing to add, there is a limited run of inverted fartbox PCBs over on the shop, so if you're interested in building a fart box that is inverted, then go and check that out over there. And yeah, I've been Look Mum No Computer. Don't forget to subscribe and don't be scared to try it.